Exactly, and if you look at the neuroscience as well and what they're doing now and looking at the brain and all the different parts of the body that are affected by vibration and sound, and you know, there's so much out there that's starting to filter through and, you know, allow us now to say, you know, music has been around forever.
Yep.
And it's been a component of healing for as long back as they can find, and you know, it's just starting to.
I mean, doesn't the earth or Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, vibrates at 8 hertz?
Well, that's right.
So you know, and we come from the. I mean, you know, we come from the earth. You know what I mean? We're connected. You cut us down to the smallest grain, we're the same as the earth. So we must vibrate as well as them. We are just a walking bundle of vibration, really. And you know, hence why music can. Well, actually, music is the only thing that I know of that you can, depending on what you're playing, can make your emotions change.
Exactly.
It can make you exceptionally happy. It can make you also very sad. And it's just music. It's a sound. Why would that make that if you're not connected?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it has to have a real relevance in our lives. And that's, I suppose, I wanted to get back to, is really connecting people back to that very simplistic purpose of music, and that it is part of who we are and part of what we need to stay grounded and connected to this life and to this world. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's sort of a funny thing, like music in general, especially when you're doing sort of this sort of stuff, and you're recording for others and stuff, where for some reason music's sort of been put a bit lower down the peg. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're going, there's always sound. There's always some form of music. Now, I'm not talking just a played music. I'm also talking when you're standing in a forest and you hear the wind blowing through the trees. That's music. That is sound, because it invokes a feeling. So when you're standing there and you're hearing something, listening to something, it can either put you in a place of bliss, it can take you back in time. It's the same as smells, you know, smell certain things, but a lot of times it's got to do with that feeling, and the sound of whatever it is creates that and brings you back to that past. That's why music is so important and should be given a lot more, credence? That's not the word I'm looking for. It should be it's more important to people, and it should be put in a place of, like what you're doing with the healing side of it, it should be given a higher place, more importance to people, because people live on it. You can push it aside anyway. People either got earbuds in nowadays, they're listening to every movie. You take the music out of the movie, it dies in the bum. It's the whole thing about music is what we all live and breathe.
And coming back to that, I found that that's why I wanted to go to to the UK just
you just came
recently.
Back
came back because they have so many amazing things happening over there, and it's to do with singing and using that natural voice technique, where allowing people, or giving them that opportunity and space to really connect with their own natural voice and their own inner ability to make sound, but also using sound as a healing mechanism. So over there, a lot of the health, like your hospitals and health centres, are now starting groups or working with people so singing for pulmonary health, singing for asthma, singing for, you know, whatever you've got, singing for pain groups. So they're using these components of music to then connect people with how you can deal with what you're going through in life without having to get deeply embedded into the other mechanisms, like your, drugs and things like that. So they're
the
now
placebo is very strong. The human body is quite capable of healing itself, given the right space. So yes, making you feel good, and the energy of singing And that's a release, isn't it? Singing is a very, especially if you're putting heart and soul into it, so it's a release,
Yeah, so using it, and they're using it for a lot of trauma work, and it was an incredible time over there to spend with people who are working in those realms and who are seeing it happen, and then being able to bring some of that learning and bring it back into this community, and I'm hoping that this year will see me go back to the UK and just further investigate and be part of more of those components, so that I can bring more back and be more connected to what's going on over there, in order to
bring it back here,
and allow it to ooze through our community as well.
And yet you went down that road with what you and I are in the 2019. We're going to be recording these guys, so that sort of thing got you into the choir of no voices.
Choir of unheard voices.
Well, I'll rephrase that. Brought the choir of unheard voices.
Yeah, so 10 years ago, another thing, that whole practical component in your life is, if an opportunity comes, you grab it, you do it. I was asked in 2008, would I be interested in, bringing together a group of people and using singing to try to reach, they had a whole heap of people that had mental illness that were what they called comatose, or were not coming out, not getting out of their beds, they were disconnected from community, from everyone. And they wanted to try a little bit of a, Choir of Hard Knocks had just come out, and there was Christine Sullivan had this incredible passion to try to do the same thing in Mackay, but use it for those who had mental illness. And my background at that time was I was a youth worker, running a youth centre, but I also had a women's group that I had run since 2003, and using natural voice technique, or what I believed was natural voice technique. And I thought, oh well, I'll give it a go, we'll see where we go. And I remember going to the first session and coming out of there going, right, no plan, let's just do this off, so it was so different than what I thought it was going to be. I had all these ideas what was going to work and how we're going to connect with these people, and after the first session I just went, nah, got it, and we just started to make a space that people felt comfortable in, made them welcome, made them connected to us first, and really open up an avenue where they could explore just being in a space that felt good, that felt comfortable, that felt safe. And 10 years later, I think that's the real key to helping people explore their voice and allowing music in, is giving a space and a place where it can happen. And so very excited now that in 2019 we get to explore all the things that have happened.
Yeah, because you just recently took all of those songs, because you got the groups of choirs together, and then you've basically did a book on the different songs, so you highlighted all the individual people and so forth that were involved in it. And then, well, basically, what brought you to Tin Sheds is the question I'd like to ask. What brought you here?
Another little one of those clicks in life where you either, listen to the message or the signpost disappears. And I remember a lady I had met just very casually a year ago through, I wanted to go to Youngala and do the festival up there. And I had asked someone about, accommodation and things, and this woman went, oh, this lady's going to be up there. You need to be connected to her. And out of that, I saw her, she sent me a message, and it said, you need to connect with Dave from the Tin Shed. Don't know why I'm telling you this, but you do. And a few days before, I'd seen her down in Mackay, and we hadn't seen each other for a year, and I said, I have no idea, we just virtually ran into each other. And she said from that meeting of running into each other, she knew she had to give me your contacts and go, you need to meet Dave. And I looked at this message thinking, Dave, Tin Shed, I don't even know anything about this. But I just went, I'm just going to ring him. Just going to go with it, because there must be something. That must be the next new connection. And of course, it is.
Ta-da, here we are. So now we have plans for 2019 to record all these marvellous people.
Yes.
And we're going to do some in maybe a church. Some will be coming here. Excuse me. There'll be some coming here, which you've got some songs are individual, but then we've also got the choirs, which we're going to go and they're a cappella. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's very exciting that we're going to give them the opportunity to now, for them to see what it's like to be in a recording studio, and for them to be part of that next process of writing songs. And I just saw what happened to all these guys that I work with when we were putting the concert together. And then, the next news of, here's the book. We worked for a year to get that book together. And now looking at 2019 going, now we're going to see what the next step is, and that excitement of what that means for them. And it's that whole thing of finally having an acceptance, being part of a community and being just like everyone else. And no labels. You're just you're just part of this recording. You're not part of what you wear on your back. And sort of
it's going to be good. And then hopefully we're going to put on a concert with it. So that should be really interesting.
It should be.
That should be the end. That will be the end of 2019.
Yeah, a lot of work ahead of us.
Just a little. Also, I know you've actually been in here. We're in the middle of doing an album for you at the moment. What has your experience been like since you've been at Tin Shed?
Oh, I love it. I think I was really afraid and worried when the first day. I remember seeing a little clip of my face thinking, oh my goodness, what were you, I was so just not sure about how you would feel about the way that I do my music, and unsure about how my music would come out, because a lot of the times I feel as if I intuitively sing, or especially with the harp. When I'm working with the harp and with vocals, I never know what's going to come out. Sometimes it even, I go, oh, where did that come from? So, but it's been a wonderful journey to know that it's just so good to have.
Because I understand where you were coming. You were talking, because when I do a normal song, you've got click tracks, you've got to have that in time, and everything's got to be right. But I understand, because of past music I've done, when I create meditational type music for people, there's no click anything. Yeah. It's just, you go with the flow. Sometimes you try and keep things in time, but other times you just go with it, and there's no reason. I'm presuming that's what you're meaning, because when you're... and very much, you've got to be flexible with it. It is a bit hard if you had like drums and guitars and pianos and stuff like that, because they're all got to try and keep in time with each other. But when you're more etherical and you're playing like your harp, it's not doing a 4/4 time or anything like that. You're just playing whatever it feels like in your heart, and then you sing to it. So, we can do that.
Exactly.
So last but not least, what would be a message you would like to pass on to our audience?
I think the greatest message that I want to get out to everybody is that music is the key. It is the component that we are missing. It's what we need to keep us both grounded and both centered to ourselves and to this earth.
Wow. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. That sort of sums up the whole Margaret, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's what you've basically been doing all your life, pretty much, is your connection to music has followed you through your whole entire life. So, and you're one of those lucky ones. You haven't really gone away from it. It's been there. Like I killed it for a long time when I had children and everything like that. It's too hard, and I didn't have the stamina to keep doing that, and the working and the children and stuff like that. So, but you've actually had that beautiful nurturing music all the way through your life.
Don't get me wrong, when the children came along, there was a little stop, but it was a good stop because my son was a musician and I followed his processes until, you know, he left the nest and kept following his line. And yeah, but all through it I still was allowed to, you know, have my own little music.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Margaret, for taking the time out and having an interview with us.
Thank
it was
you.
fantastic seeing into your life, seeing where you come from. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me here, and well, here's to a long journey.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay guys, there you go. A fantastic look into Margaret's life and where she's come from. This lady's going to go a long way, so keep an eye out for what we're going to be up to, because we're locked into a journey. Our path starts in 2019, so stick around and keep an eye out for what's happening in 2019. So cheers, and here's the music.